is up, my fellow HHN obsessies, and welcome to the HHN Obsession podcast, where we talk about all things HHN and obsess together over this amazing event. I am your host, JJ. With me, as always, I have the co-host, James.
That's me, James, the co-ghost. I'm claiming it here. No one else can take it.
The ghost with the most.
Co-ghost.
The co-ghosty. Co-ghosty.
Co-ghosty. Ghosty.
All right, James. It was a heck of a surprise yesterday. Something happened, something big, and we're here to talk all about it. Do you have any idea what this something is?
I like the darkness, so no.
I mean, that kind of fits perfect with, the whole Horror Nights theme of our show, darkness.
Yeah, I'm less of a fan, more of like one of the creatures you'd see out there. So I live under a rock.
You're like the real life Patrick Star, and like the one that walks around Universal, around the SpongeBob store. That specific Patrick Star.
Yeah, if you get me mixed up with them, just identify the belly button. That's the one distinguishing factor.
Like, is that James from HHN Obsession? I don't know. Look at his belly button. Oh yeah, that is him.
That's gonna happen. People are gonna be like, I think that sounds like him, but we gotta check the belly button.
All right, everybody. I hope everybody's doing well. I hope everybody's excited as us. I mean, obviously, if you're listening, you know what happened, or you know by the title of this episode what happened. But something we speculated about on the last Speculation Map episode has officially been confirmed. We're gonna talk all about it. And James, you're about to find out what happened right now.
Without further ado, we are thrilled to announce our very first original content haunted house for Halloween Horror Nights 33, the sequel to a fan favorite, Slaughter Cinema.
Heavy Metal Hell 3D. All hell is breaking loose.
Slaughter Cinema 2, let's go! That's right, we're going back to the Carey Drive-In for Slaughter Cinema 2. Again, a sequel to a fan favorite haunted house. We're so excited to present you this house at Halloween Horror Nights 33. We're exploring 8 brand new Slaughter Cinema films in this house, one of which is Heavy Metal Hell 3D, which is where this character's from. But aside from the new stuff we're presenting, we're also calling back to some fun things from the first Slaughter Cinema that you, the fans, will appreciate for sure. Charles Gray, Dylan Colath, and everybody who was involved in bringing this project to life poured so much passion into making this haunted house everything you've wanted it to be for years, and we cannot wait for you all to experience it only at Halloween Horror Nights 33. We are now officially in announcement season, right? So make sure to keep your eyes peeled on Halloween Horror Nights Orlando's socials for future announcements. We'll see you in the fun.
There you have it.
Is that Keegan-Michael Key announcing?
Now that you say that, he does sound like Keegan-Michael Key.
He was in the circle out here. No, that was going to be one of my questions, was like, are they all going to be like part 2s? But they're all original new guys. So that's enticing.
So Slaughter Cinema 2, man. I mean, this is kind of big. What are your thoughts right off the bat? Let's hear them.
Slaughter Cinema 2, of all the houses to go first, it's a deserved one. When I heard that, I was like, are they all immediate questions was like, is it all sequels? Is it all part 2s of the same ones? Are they gonna mix in some new guys? But it's all new guys.
Not entirely. I don't know if you heard the part where he said they are gonna call back to a couple of stuff from the previous installment. So there might be some sequels within the sequel house.
That's a good opportunity. You throw in some popular favorite sequels, and then you mix in some hopefully new favorite populars.
First thing that comes to mind is, I don't know if you remember, at the first Slaughter Cinema, on the facade they had movie trailers showing outside, the fake movie trailers, and not
True.
All of them were part of the house. So one of the fake movie trailers was Hive 2. So what if they actually brought Hive 2 into Slaughter Cinema 2 because it wasn't in the original Slaughter Cinema? That was my first thought when you said that.
That's true. It's already kind of existed. I mean, not officially, but it's been floating around. So yeah, that is something to jump on. And they don't have to announce every detail, right? They could surprise that stuff.
Yeah. I mean, that's. I don't think they would announce any of the like ideas besides the one that they announced at the panel. It's called Heavy Metal Hell 3D, and then they brought out a main character from that movie, and it's like this dude with a mohawk and a skull mask. But this all makes sense now. Remember the merch drops?
Okay.
For whatever reason, like we were getting all this merch that had like this punk vibe with like some goth esque stuff, and now it kind of makes sense. The day that this was announced, we got a brand new shirt that was in the same vibe as the orange shirt, but just different artwork. But it had this skull character basically on the shirt, and it all kind of makes sense now. It is weird that this is one movie in Slaughter Cinema 2, and that's kind of the theme so far with the merchandise. So I don't know if there's more connection to it, but I feel like it's going to be part of it. It's only like a piece. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it does help explain the mid Paramore phase between like the old Paramore and new Paramore, like the new wave kind of punk new age style. It's another clue, another piece to the puzzle, like you said.
All right, so how do you feel about Slaughter Cinema being announced first? I mean, people can fact check me. I'm sure they will, but I'm pretty sure this is the very first time that an original has been announced first.
That is significant.
It is a little weird that they didn't go with an IP to start off the house announcement season, because the IPs usually draw in kind of the smaller fans of the event, the
Yeah, and
casual fans.
What were those announcement parties? What was that at? Like,
Oh, good question.
are they exclusive?
So there was this whole thing for like a whole week, because last week it was announced that there was going to be an HHN panel at a horror convention in Orlando called Spooky Empire. People were speculating that we were going to get an announcement on Tuesday for a house, and then that would bring some stuff to talk about at the panel. Well, when Tuesday came around, we did get something, but it was just a teaser video. And we'll talk about that in a little bit. We'll go more into detail with that, but it wasn't really much. So people were kind of skeptical at that point that there was going to be anything happening at Spooky Empire, because in previous years, Spooky Empire, the panel that happened there, it was just talking about the behind the scenes stuff and how HHN is made and created each and every year. That's all it was. There was no previous, there was no announcements there. So people were just kind of arguing back and forth. Oh, we're not getting anything. Nothing's going to happen. And the day of, we got the shirt drop, and that kind of gave people hope. But still, there was people that were like, "No, guys, we're not getting anything. Nothing's going to happen." And the panel started. There was a lot of people there, a lot of media there, getting ready to tweet stuff and post videos and stuff. And this was an hour long. 45 minutes went by and nothing happened. So people were, again, very sure nothing was going to happen. But at the very end, they announced that house. And it was probably the craziest vibe, the craziest feeling to be in that room at that moment. I mean, you heard the crowd, how crazy they went.
Yeah.
I know we didn't talk up Slaughter Cinema that great when we did our battle episode, which if you haven't heard that, those are our latest episodes. Go and listen to those.
Yeah,
They're
they're fun.
but we didn't really talk up Slaughter Cinema very much, but it was still a great house. I still enjoyed the hell out of it. It wasn't a bad house. I had a lot of fun with it. However, Slaughter Cinema it has such a huge fan base. Like, you wouldn't believe how many people this falls into their top 3 houses of all time. So it's a big deal to a lot of people, and that's great. I love that. And the HHN community exploded when this happened. I mean, nothing but positive responses. I don't think I saw one negative response about Slaughter Cinema 2 being announced yesterday.
Man, they starved those guys and they left them hopeless, and then they dropped the bomb.
Dude, it's crazy. I mean, this announcement season has just been so bizarre. The speculation season has been so bizarre. Their strategy is so weird. Like, I think they tease the community on purpose. Like,
No, definitely. It's
they
not even.
they get a kick out of it, man. Like, they're at their desk, at their computer, laughing at us.
Yeah.
Like Dr. Evil chair, with the cat in their lap.
Yep, we're all in jars, and they orchestrate us like a little orchestra dude, and they bring out what they want from us, from the crowd, from their captive audience. They can play us like instruments.
So talking about these weird announcements, according to Legacy, and I think Pinhead also mentioned it on Discord, apparently there was supposed to be a big house announcement on that Tuesday. It had been talked about months and months ago. Like it was planned. But apparently there was two IPs that either were dropped or they just weren't able to obtain them. Like they were wanted and they were planned, but HHN wasn't able to obtain them. So they had to completely change their plan. And apparently Spooky Empire was a last minute decision that as of like a few days ago, there wasn't going to be a house announced at Spooky Empire.
Okay, last minute decision, but it was gonna be Slaughterhouse Cinema all along, right? I mean, I know we can speculate, but imagine, I mean, they could have shuffled the envelopes and picked this one to announce, but it sounds calculated. I would think.
No, apparently an IP was supposed to be announced like they always do.
Oh, okay.
The usual trend is that
No, yeah.
an IP is announced first. Was it Five Nights at Freddy's? Was it Nightmare on Elm Street? What the heck was it? And he says there was two, so what if it was both,
Well, I mean, yeah, I can see that line of thought, but I like to think, I mean, like you say, it's a cult favorite of a lot of people, and I mean, fan service is not the norm. It's more teasing is what we're supposed to expect. So I don't know. I want to just in my head canon, in my brain, I'm gonna give them credit for Slaughterhouse Cinema being a smart move instead of like an accidental second or third plan. Because I mean, if you're serving your specific audience, that's good. You reward your people, and I think you're gonna get more out of it. I don't know.
Yeah, I think you have a point there. I do think that they kind of looked at their lineup this year and they said, okay, what is going to be a great thing to announce at a convention where there's going to be nothing but hardcore HHN fans? This is a horror convention where people came just to see this HHN panel. What is going
Yeah,
to be the absolute best fan favorite response?
yeah. This is a curated audience. It's smart to reward that.
I mean,
This this is the place.
they could have announced their Universal Monsters house, but they went with this. And I think you're right. There is a reason for that, with it having
I'm
such
so
a
happy
big
for those
following.
people that heard it for the first time. Those are the. That's got to feel good for those guys.
Dude, you should have seen like some of the reactions. Like people were just like people were literally crying that this got announced, and that's awesome. I love that HHN brings that reaction to a lot of people. I actually stumbled across this guy on Twitter. I ended up following him because I just loved his response. He was working. He got a notification on his watch that Slaughter Cinema 2 was coming, and he immediately told whoever was working or his boss, like, I have to step away real quick.
You're gonna cause a scene amongst the normies.
Shout out to that guy. You had the best response I saw on Twitter, like literally the best, and I absolutely loved it. So
That sounds like Elf when he hears Santa's coming, but he held it in. That's tough.
but that just shows how much HHN means to a lot of people. It shows how much Slaughter Cinema was a big deal to a lot of people. So I love that. I love it. I look forward to seeing what Slaughter Cinema 2 is going to bring, because the rumor is that this is going into one of the new tents, one of the bigger tents. So originally it was in, the old school tents. Now it's going to have a sort of bigger space to
That makes
work
sense.
with.
I can see that. It's a good accommodation. You need that room.
Oh, I did not read the small description they gave on the tweet, so I'm gonna go ahead and read that real quick because there is one thing that's very interesting in that description. So the description says, if you're dying for a B movie horror marathon, head to the Carey Drive-In. Scream through scenes from creature features, grindhouse gore, spaghetti westerns, and more.
Hmm.
Spaghetti westerns is what really took me by surprise. If you don't know what a spaghetti western is, that is a genre of westerns that started in the 60s that is completely made in Italy or made by Italian filmmakers and made on a lower budget. What are they going to do that's horror themed but is spaghetti western? That's what kind of intrigues me. There was a house not too long ago in the last decade that was called Ghost Town. So I wonder, would they kind of bring in some stuff from that maybe, or would this just be a completely new idea? I don't know. What do you think,
Hmm.
James? Spaghetti westerns.
That is an interesting. Like, are they just trying to cross every box of every genre, and that happens to fall in there, or do they have something up their sleeve? Not spaghetti, of course. Um,
Yeah, it's gonna be a complete joke. Watch, it's gonna be like because they're like cheesy B movies. What if it was like Western theme, but there was just spaghetti involved, like actual spaghetti?
yeah, I doubt they do that.
Right, right.
I mean, they are schlocky, but if you're approaching a genre that was like popularized by the explosion of success by these guys that found a way to make it cheaper, faster, and create a whole genre that's like insane. So I'm trying to picture it. So I'm thinking like Nope. They got aliens in a
Hmm.
kind of a rural kind of place. There's ways to like. There's even like Native American like Wendigo and like Skinwalkers, maybe unexpected, gore in like an Andy Griffith type situation. Like the setting versus the gore. It could work.
Well, now I got to see that, James. I got to see an Andy Griffith spaghetti western horror film.
I could picture that too. He's crossover with Scooby Doo, and Scooby Doo's had their moments.
Okay, but the other genres that they threw in here were creature features and grindhouse gore. Creature features. Remember that the Yeti house is originated in Slaughter Cinema. It was Attack of the Swamp Yeti. Something else involved with that? Another creature feature with the Yeti, or are we gonna go for a whole totally different monster? I don't know.
Anything with Yetis, I'm happy.
They did say that they were gonna bring back some stuff from the first one, so that's one
Yeah.
thing to look out for. Yeah, man, Slaughter Cinema 2. I couldn't be more excited. Like I said, it wasn't my top house of that year, but it was right in the middle of the pack for me, and it was still a lot of fun. And I still have fond memories of it. And I
Yeah.
just being so deprived of knowing what's happening this year. When this got announced, the dopamine that hit was indescribable. And I'm still kind of on that dopamine high of Slaughter Cinema 2 just got announced. It's happening. Our first house is happening. The announcement season's happening. It's only going to be just rapid fire from here on, I feel like, of stuff.
Yeah, a cool way to sort the movies would be like I like to describe like hot tub pool. You splash between the styles, and I know they're all B movies, so I can't really expect like super darkness and then bright silliness, but either can be at least more serious silly and then like goofy silly and then serious silly goofy silly. So like if they organize it right, it could be just a treat for the senses.
I agree. Yeah, for sure. I mean, that's kind of what they did last time. I mean, it was all kind of schlocky and goofy, but there was some like gory, like intense moments, I would say. So yeah, I could see that happening. All right. Any last thoughts on Slaughter Cinema 2, the big announcement?
Looking forward to the T-shirt.
If there is a T-shirt, and also think about this: HHN28, the food wasn't really there yet.
Uh-huh.
Let's talk some like food booth themed to a movie theater concession stand.
Food speculations. I like it.
I mean, I don't know how much they could do with that kind of theme, but I mean, there's like popcorn type treats, maybe some slushies, some I don't know.
Nothing's gonna be as no brainer as Surfer Boy pizza fries. I'm gonna say it again, Surfer Boy pizza fries. Anyone who hears me, but I mean, as no brainer as that gets, we can get creative.
Hey, there's Stranger Things 5 coming out in 2025. I'm willing to bet they will bring Stranger Things 5 at some point. So
Let me blow out the speakers real quick.
So Horror Nights executives, people of the food, the chefs, whoever's listening, James needs to tell you something.
Surfer Boy pizza fries. Surfer Boy pizza fries. It's not that hard.
Dude, I'm gonna have to turn that way down.
Well, hopefully that resonates. I don't know.
Yeah, man. Surfer Boy pizza fries, you gotta do it. All right, back to the topic of Slaughter Cinema 2.
I'm still mad.
Hey, they could serve pizza at a movie theater, right? I mean,
yeah, it happens everywhere.
I don't know. I'm just trying to figure out a way for Surfer Boy pizza fries to fit in with this. Anyway,
don't make it do it myself. Don't make me DIY it.
You're gonna bring pineapple in your pocket and just throw it.
Whatever they don't take away from me at the gate, it's coming in. I'm telling you.
All right, everybody. Well, Slaughter Cinema 2. What are your thoughts on it? Let us know in the comments of our post. Let us know in some reviews. Tell us what you think about Slaughter Cinema 2. There is one more thing that we want to talk about, and I mentioned it before. A couple days prior to Slaughter Cinema 2 being announced, we got a teaser video. In the teaser video, it starts with like a janitor sweeping the streets of Universal, and he starts to hear voices coming from the sewers, the drain of the streets. So it kind of pans down below the ground, and there's these dark tunnels below the park, and it reaches the door that we've seen in the teaser photos. Behind the door is this pulsing, giant, nasty, sliming cocoon, and the cocoon explodes. It sends out a sonic boom throughout the park. The clouds start turning red, and that's basically the video. But at the very end of the video, when you see the clouds above Universal, there's kind of the arches in the shot. You're right in that courtyard in front of the arches. It almost looks like a play off the Upside Down, but don't worry, guys. This is not a Stranger Things clue. It is not. This is something original, but there is a reflection on the ground in the watery concrete streets of what looks like the arches, but in some kind of hellish form. It's like completely covered in teeth, and it looks like some kind of monster. Now, is this something to do with the icon this year, or is this just the realm that the icon is living in? Either way, the Horror Nights page got asked, what should we name this upside down creature arch thing that was in this video that people have been talking about?
Derpy cyclops in the shape of the entrance.
So the Horror Nights page has officially named it Otis. Otis is this mystery creature that we have no idea, have no clue what it's going to be. But for now, we know it's Otis. And you're right, it is a cyclops. It did have a one eye. And if you look closely at the video at the cocoon, it looks like the cocoon has an eye. And nobody's really mentioned that. But look closely, there's like this weird white spot on it. It looks like an eye, just like on the reflection of the creature.
I am eager to enter the maw of Otis. All of us are going to walk through the entrance. That's his mouth. And we're going to be treading around his entrails. Ugh. And when we exit,
the butt.
Yeah. Yes. Hey, but Otis is very appropriate for that guy. And okay, Stranger Things knockoff, sure, but it's also a knockoff of Alien and anything practical effects. It's like giving off very mysterious vibes, very throw offy. It's intentional.
I like that. And yeah, I think again, they love playing with us. They knew that we were going to see that reflection because it's kind of hidden a little bit. And it happens very fast. So they intentionally made it look hidden, but they knew that we would see it, pause every frame and post about it. So
the custodian made me laugh though. Cause of course the guy that goes and He mops the bricks when everyone leaves. He's just whistling with his headphones. You know, your janitor, your go-to janitor of your. It's just so generic. It's funny.
It is very similar to the commercials and trailers that they had for HHN30. There was very similar things that happened with like the tunnels below the park. I think that was actually introduced for HHN30, how the icons live under the park. Like that's where the lantern resides. That's where all the icons are. They are in the tunnels under the park. And speaking of that, what's being talked about from the insiders, Legacy, Pinhead, all the other insiders, is that what they're hearing is that this icon is like a super icon.
Yeah.
So for a long time, fear has been rumored for this. Like they've been teasing fear cannot be contained. That is like one of the taglines of this year that we've been seeing. And the promo video, when they posted that on YouTube, they put the title of the video as Fear Cannot Be Contained. So everybody goes straight to fear.
Mm-hmm.
The rumor is that Fear was originally kind of the god of HHN, right? He was in control of all the icons.
Yeah.
Apparently, this icon that we're getting this year is going to be a super god that is basically the god over fear. He is above fear.
Or below.
Ha 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 ha.
You know, deeper.
Because he's in the tunnels.
Or just like a darker evil. But yeah, correct me if I'm wrong, there was resistance, right? I was seeing resistance from that rumor. Because it's like, if I'm understanding it, that's going to retcon the established history. And people don't like retcons.
It does retcon it a lot because again, Fear was in control of all the icons. Like he's the one that apparently created it. But Horror Nights is known for messing up and not being consistent with the timeline and their lore. This is not out of the ordinary for them for automatically coming up with something that kind of X's out something that happened before. Just think, like somebody made a good point about this. I don't remember who, but it's been 33 years, 34 really with the COVID year, 34 years of Horror Nights. And all of a sudden this character's coming out. Where has he been all this time? Why are we just finding out? Like, that's the reason like people are skeptical. Like Legacy straight up said that this can be an amazing idea if it's executed correctly. But if it's not, if they can't make it make sense, it's going to be totally just bad idea. It's not going to flow right.
And was that intentional on the thing, Super D Duper? Why do they keep saying Super D Duper?
So that was Legacy.
Super Duper, I see. I get Super Duper.
So this was the first tweet that he posted after that video. He said, HHN has had icons. They've even had a super icon with Fear in 2010. Well, if current rumors are accurate, we may be seeing our first Super D-duper icon.
What are you doing? Did you mess up?
No, you didn't mess up. I think he's just like being fun. Like, I don't think it has anything.
He's just making it ridiculous on purpose because you're going to top Super Duper.
Exactly.
I mean super.
Like this
is already getting.
This is the Super D-duper icon. Like this is. And of course, people made the joke. Universal got rid of Barney. Barney's pissed. He's coming back to HHN.
Yeah, with that picture, right? That was like one of the DVDs.
Plot twist. Otis is Barney, just pissed off.
Oh, dude.
It's like his true form.
Yeah, just give it a purple hue and tweet out that rumor.
Like if you go and adjust the dials of the colors from the video, you'll see Barney in Otis. So after Legacy posted that post, he also said, I do want to state I don't like this rumor. And then
that's important.
HHN Maddox said, for clarification, don't like it as in fully confident in it, or don't like what it may bring if true. And he said, I don't like what it does if true. The Super D-duper is intentionally derisive.
Yeah, one of my thoughts with this was like, they're trying to hack into the multiverse, phase, or what do you call it? The trend? They're trying to get into multiverses. If you got a super god amongst all the different properties and worlds they're doing, then I don't know. I hope they're not doing that.
Well, I like that you mentioned that because people are actually kind of hoping and speculating that this is happening right now because we're seeing a resurgence of icons. For a while they weren't doing icons. Like there was a whole bunch of years where they did icons every single year. And for a long time they got rid of that and now it seems to be coming back. So people are hoping that starting with Oddfellow, we're going to be seeing almost a Marvel
Like,
Avengers type of thing happening where once we get to HHN 40, it's going to be just a big battle of icons, right?
I gotcha.
I mean, that would be
I,
cool. I'm not saying that is going to happen. That's just like people like hoping and speculating. But what if, you know?
what if? Because Marvel.
Yeah,
No, but yeah, if they're pocket icons, because how many icons with twisted origin stories you got in the same timeline, all twisted from the roots, and they're the ultimate? No, this is the ultimate. It is true. If they had their own domains and they were the ultimate in their pocket universes, like then I could see a super god, pitting them all against each other. That could work. But then, I mean, I don't know. There's no need for it. I think. I mean, just let them all exist in this dark universe that you have established.
right. And Horror Nights has never done a consecutive like storyline. Like they've never done multiple years that extend a story.
Mhm.
It's just kind of singular years that have like their own thing
Yeah,
going on. So
yeah. This one is controversial. I'm trying to be impartial too and resist it, but I could see how it could and could not work. So it all depends on execution, I guess. And then right place, right time. Right zeitgeist. What's happening
exactly.
in movies and everything.
And it's also very weird to me that we're getting this weird, hellish, giant, super duper D duper icon thing happening. But then we're also getting these punk goth emo vibes on the merch. It's like just weird things that don't really clash together.
Yeah,
Again, this is such a weird year, and it's kind of cool that we don't know hardly anything at this point. Usually we know a little bit more at this point, but we're a little later in the game and only know one house and a tease at an icon coming, I think. It's actually kind of fun.
yeah, I guess it's fun to guess, but I mean, you could also guess with accuracy, like we were doing last year. This is more like Battleship, we're just like throwing everything out there, random hits.
Mhm.
It's blind. It's kind of fun. You don't know what to expect.
So, continuing with the whole legacy post, so Saint Saint Piss is his name.
Ooh,
They said, "Do you think it's a concept that'll be divisive among other HHN fans? I'm getting a bit concerned." So he said, Legacy said, "It's going to need to thread a needle. Without fully knowing the execution, I can't say how divisive it may be. It has the potential, at the most generalized level, to upend the entirety of icon lore, but it could elevate it too. I'm just not sure how." And Alexander M. Bush said the immediate reaction is if this is the equivalent to God of HHN, like something that is of the God of horror and has been irked somehow as a result of whatever is causing them to descend. Maybe wrong, but it'd be funny if now God was pissed that the death quota wasn't enough. And then Legacy went on to say, we already have a God. It's fear. So what does that mean? I mean, I thought this was the above God.
yeah. I just like that they keep pushing the what's the most viable rumors instead of like what's their favorites.
Mm-hmm.
They're not pick and choosing. They're even if they don't like it, they're gonna be putting out the correct rumors.
So
So keep doing that.
even Pinhead on Discord said this is going to be Fear's master. He said, I wasn't thrilled about it when I heard, to be honest. And I just think it's because they're worried about the execution. Like, why is it suddenly happening? Where has this God, super God, been all this time? So,
Mm.
again, it's all going to depend on execution if it is what people are saying it's going to be. Oh, also, the rumor is, according to Legacy, the Fast and Furious location house was never going to be an IP. It's always going to be an original. What if this house at Fast and Furious is the Mega Icon house? What if this unknown IP happens to be the one where we see the icon? Again, I've said this before. I'm worried about an original going into the Fast and Furious building. It hasn't had the best track record. It's a weird layout. I just hope that it doesn't ruin the house. That's all I'm worried about. this year they are closing Fast and Furious during Horror Nights, like during the day. Like it's just not going to be open, period, from August to November. So I'm wondering, people are wondering if that means the layout of the house is going to be slightly different. I don't think so, because they're closing in August. That's not going to be enough time to build whatever they got to build for Horror Nights if it's opening August 30th. But again, I'm just hoping it doesn't get ruined by the location, because it could be a very cool idea.
So that's the current floater as of now, huh? Because everyone they want to know Fast and Furious house.
Yeah,
What's happening?
that's
So
been
that's the current.
yeah, that's been the unknown. Like that's, for whatever reason,
Yeah.
that's the unknown house. But
All right, we'll see what turns out. But the icon's in the Fast and Furious house. Sounds oxymoronish, right? Oxymoronic.
hey, but if this is a hellish demon, we are going to be going into hell, and that fits Fast and Furious ride.
Yeah, I guess you want your chair to be kind of ugly. Right? You want to sit on something in shambles. You don't want something pristine. Maybe that is appropriate.
Yeah, man, but I think it's exciting. What if they did something cool, like they introduced this crazy icon that's like the super evil, that's like the enemy of the other icons.
A
He's the
Decepticon.
he's the villain of the villains. What if like we see a year where like Jack and Oddfellow team up together to go fight whatever this god is? Like again, this weird Avengers multiverse thing that they could be doing would be fun. I doubt it'll happen, but how fun would it be to have like icons having some kind of problem?
Definitely character moments,
Hmm.
and then to play off each other. Yeah, Oddfellow is. These guys have. It's like they don't need lines. They have their backstory and their motivation, and then they can just go. I mean, I've seen them improvise. It's crazy.
Another post that I found by Pinhead is retconning a Thanos level character over Fear after 33 years of not a peep is just kind of clunky in my opinion. Supposedly he's Fear's master, as Thanos was to Ronan. This is to Fear. All right, so I'm gonna close out the podcast with just a couple more things that were said by Pinhead about this said icon, and he is comparing this icon to this weird 90s, this obscure 90s movie called Phantoms. And I've actually seen it. Ben Affleck is in it. Apparently, he compared the persona to, the monster or monsters from Phantoms. I don't really remember the movie much, but if anybody's seen that movie, or if you have time, go check it out, because apparently he's throwing this movie Phantoms out as like a similarity to what he's hearing. He said, "Not sure anyone has seen this movie, but this is the vibes I got from the description." So that's something to think about.
I mean, you're dropping Batfleck at me. I'm in.
And then somebody also brought up the fact that they're introducing this mega icon at a non-anniversary year at HHN33. And Pinhead brought up, since the birth of numerology in ancient Greece, the numbers 11, 12, and 33 have been revered as the master numbers, commanding an extra strength presence in the cosmos. People with these super digits in their birth charts often rise to be high decibel movers and shakers, spiritual leaders, or community influencers. So there is sort of a connection to 33. I don't know if that's the connection they're going for, but it's kind of neat that he pointed that out.
Well, here's us pointing it out again. Maybe tweet that out. You should make that more popular, because, like I said, sometimes people don't see the obvious stuff. Surfboard pizza fries. So, yeah, those angel numbers or whatever you just said, like, that's significant. Put it out there, but let them take advantage of it. Let them jump on that. It's too late though now, I think.
Yeah, if they haven't thought of it already, if they're not actually thinking of that, they're not.
Yeah,
but
could have harnessed some magic there, some universal, steez, but nah.
All right, everybody, we're gonna end it there. But let us know in the comments of the post that we're gonna be, when we release this podcast. Give us a review on Apple Podcast. Tell us what you think about the podcast. Follow us on Instagram, Twitter, Threads, Blue Sky. We are now on YouTube Music.
And just straight up YouTube, we're getting more listens than views. So
yeah, Yeah, we're new there, and there's not really a whole lot of stuff going on over there. So yeah, if you want to go over there and subscribe, but our podcast is available on all the major platforms as well. So give us a follow, give us your thoughts on Twitter, in the comments of the videos, anything, Instagram post. We want to hear from you. But thank you everybody for listening. Thank you for all the newcomers. A lot of you have shown up because of the speculation maps and all that kind of stuff. So thank you for
Yes,
listening.
welcome.
And go back and listen to our previous episodes that we just released. We did a 2-part series trying to figure out which of our top 3 favorite HHN years is the best in our opinion. So go back and listen to that. We kind of debated around some campfire crackles. So check that out.
Yeah, we get deep in the weeds in that one. If you're into that, if you're into splitting hairs,
Yeah.
it's very fun.
It's basically just sitting next to us by a fire, listening to us debate. That's all it is. So go check that out. But
yeah, make some s'mores while you listen. That's what I would do.
Or some Surfer Boy pizza fries.
The regret, the rage.
They're never gonna happen, man.
I'm gonna make it happen. I'm gonna go to the food preview and I'm gonna shake down some chefs. I'm gonna shake them. What was I gonna say? You got me off track. All I see is red.
Just show up to the head chef of HHN and throw some pineapples at him. Just pineapple chunks.
That's aggressive. I'm gonna talk first.
Okay.
And then I'll shove him down his throat.
It's gonna be the whole Homer choking Bart. How dare you not give me Surfer pizza fries? And the chef's like, oh.
I'm gonna be shaking him full force, like Chris Farley and that guy that made him the wrong coffee.
All right, everybody, thank you for listening once again. We'll see you later. Just remember, let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby. Slaughter Cinema 2.
Slaughter Cinema 2.
You're damn right. Just wait a while, giving you the hate with your face now. Wait a while, giving you the hate with your face now. Wait a while, giving you the hate with your face now. Wait a while, giving you the hate with your face now. Wait a while.
Hey everyone, just wanted to give a quick shout out to my good friend Zach Weber, who provided our intro and outro song, Heebie Jeebies. You can listen to the full version of Heebie Jeebies on iTunes, Spotify, Pandora, or anywhere where you listen to your favorite music. Thanks for listening.